Boyz in the Hood is a 1991 drama that is pretty much considered one of the quintessential 90s hood movies. It was directed by John Singleton, who was astonishingly nominated for an Oscar at the age of just 24, the youngest person ever nominated for the award and the first African American. The film stars Cuba Gooding Jr., Lawrence Fishburne, and launched the career of Ice Cube. It follows the lives of three young men, firstly as kids for about half an hour of the film's runtime, and then as young adults, who live in the Crenshaw ghetto of Los Angeles. It concerns itself with questions about race, relationships, violence, fatherhood, and what it means to be a man. Gooding Jr. plays the son of Fishburne, one of the few young men in the neighborhood who has a father figure to guide him and instill discipline into him. Gooding is close friends with Ice Cube, a local hood with no prospects, and Ice Cube's half-brother, a recent father, who might get a football scholarship and thus get him and his family out of the ghetto. This brother is the apple of his mother's eye, and he does his best to keep himself out of the inevitable troubles that come with life in the hood. This is a very compelling movie, a simple story with a moral message and strong acting all round. I was particularly impressed with Ice Cube as the young thug doughboy, a seemingly simple product of the hood, a cliché punk who thinks he's some big thing. But underneath is a boy with problems but unable to articulate his feelings into the appropriate words. His story is actually quite tragic in a low-key way. He's an unfortunate product of his environment, without a father figure like Gooding's character who can show him the right way. Rather, he has a mother who seemingly resents him and openly favours his brother, and seems to be projecting problems she had with the boy's father onto him, her son. Nothing particularly major happens throughout the movie up until the end, and because of this it feels more realistic than it might have been. It feels like an exploration of the hood life, and how the ghetto shapes these young men and steers them to an inevitable doom. The ending of the film packs a strong emotional punch, one that actually moved me to tears. I've been saying that quite a lot recently. I must be getting soft in my old age, but take nothing away from the film's climax, which is heartbreaking and heavy. Singleton isn't trying to make his message subtle in any way. It's out there in the open, bold and unflinching, which makes it all the more powerful, and is best personified in the opening shot of the audio playback of a drive-by shooting. And the first image of the film is a big red stop sign, and it's also best personified in the film's final few minutes. Some might say it's heavy-handed, but in certain types of films I don't see this being a problem. I mean, the response to the black on black cycle of bloodshed from everyone is surely just stop. Boyz in the Hood doesn't stop with the usual messages of ghetto pictures like violence, poverty and drug abuse, but takes a few minutes to stick it to the man and makes a few points about how the importing of drugs into the black ghettos of America is no accident, and many of these people are stuck in a poor never-ending rut, with innocent people suffering every day as a result. The movie manages to encompass much of the problems of this lifestyle and culture into an almost singular story, and the film has a stunning level of maturity for a movie coming from a first-time director, a restrained, unassuming tone, almost as if what we would get if Clint Eastwood directed a hood movie, not to mention it's quite funny too. The movie makes great use of sound to create a sense of ever-present danger in the ghetto, from the sound of distant police sirens to the whirring of helicopters overhead searching for a suspect. Children doing their homework in their rooms have to endure the sound of gunfire outside, and a simple date with your girlfriend can turn into a fight for survival as a shootout between two gangs kicks off. Stuff like this lets us have a peek into this world and feel the way the characters do. I really enjoyed this film. I found it strong and moving, and I give it an 8 out of 10.